Hello sailors, in this episode you will see how this small fiberglass boat located, lifted and finally transported back home to my workshop or shipyard. It was a hard and very difficult way to the top, 30 meters above sea level. For this I needed help from my friend Michael.
But just to catch a breeze. We were never meant to ride the seas. The gossamer bells we chose to use as sails. We never meant to ride the seas, ride the seas, ride the seas. But just to catch a breeze.
This particular boat of fiberglass has a special story belonging to the family in decades. The boat itself isn't very special, but it's been the family's platform in water activities through generations, starting with my grandfather back in the 60s.
I've always felt like the world around me. Give me those lemons, but I don't care. I found out the hard way that you got. Yeah, you got to. On my travels, I've come across a charlatan who spoke in jargon. Spare me my tops and I'll make my own way. I'll make my own way. The world is full of strategists.
My grandfather bought this small boat from a fisherman in Esbjerg Harbor. It's a very small harbor in northern Zealand. He had sold his old traditional fishing boat and used this small fiberglass boat to fish from instead. This gave him more speed out to his fishing nets and back into the harbor. The other fishermen only had the slow and traditional fishing vessels.
Was it always so confusing?
After only a couple of years of fishing, he sold the boat to my grandfather back in 1966, including an outboard West Bend 6 horsepower engine. The boat was transported to the summer house and was the perfect platform for activities on the water for him and for my father, who was about 11 years old at the time. The name Tolle, or in Danish Tulle, was given to the boat from the fisherman and has always been her name.
It's not too late. Found out living's not that bad.
Then the boat was sold to the neighbor in the summer house next door. The boat, however, was bought back in 1995 by my father for only $75. Truly was in bad shape, but my father and a young me sailed the boat from the summer house to my grandmother's summer house. It was a long, slow way in a small boat with a small outboard engine. However, this was a great trip. The boat was then transported back home, where she was rebuilt to her present look with lots of teak.
Was it always so confusing? Wisdom is knowing nothing at all.
Juli was splashed again in the summer of 1996 and was the platform for fishing and water skiing by my father, me and my siblings. The boat stayed by my grandma's summer house until 2003, and then it was transported back to my grandfather's summer house. Sadly, in the same fall, the boat was smashed upon the stone beach by an early winter storm. When discovered, my father dragged her up in the reed, where she waited in her silent and painful sleep, with the plans to cut her up in pieces and trash.
Carry your own way. No one's picking up your tail. And maybe it's not too late. Find out living's not that bad.
13 years she was laying in the reed, sleeping and waiting. The starboard bottom was almost off, and the port side bottom had several holes. Port and starboard corners in the transom was gone, with both benches crushed together with the midship compartments. Now she is saved and resting in my shipyard for her rebuilding. Stay tuned for the next video.